Well, welcome everybody back to Pennsylvania and our cool weather. I am looking forward. I'm once again shooting a video prior to my turn, but I believe it's going to be okay. Talked to General Hand Grenade. I know the Japanese aren't going to do anything too crazy. I'm not going to do anything too crazy, so that should be fine. But the Russians haven't even gone yet. Then there's Japan and Italy. We were talking about had Japan become part of the Entente, I probably would have been doing their turn. It is crazy and significantly unlikely that both Italy and Japan would have gone Central Powers, but they did. We believe we balanced the game, that it is still, although very competitive, it is still balanced in such a way that the Allies or the Entente have a chance. So we'll see, right? So getting started with this game, and my turn in the summer of 1915. So let's start with the U.S. income increase. Oh no, a 6. I say oh no. So 31 puts the U.S. Part of it's oh no because it means I actually could roll. If I roll a 6 again, and if Italy even takes one territory, I could go to wartime income on the very next turn. Unfortunately, I'm going to be gone for a week. That's part of why I'm pre-shooting this video. And unfortunately, I'm headed to a funeral for a family member, and I don't believe I'll be able to pre-shoot the next video before I depart. But at 30 IPP, I'm on wartime footing. I can move outside the continental United States to East Coast or other U.S. locations. Aligned minor nations, including minor nations and along convoy lines, even if I'm not at war. And I can do diplomacy outside the continental United States. Well, I have not planned on doing diplomacy, period. There's really no reason I could. You know, when I look at the diplomacy map, I can't pull anybody down like Bulgaria to neutral because they align at the end of this turn. Part of me would love to, but maybe next time around. You know, it's interesting if, I think a lot of people forget this. If you roll for a nation, like if I rolled for Spain, you can laterally move them. They would laterally move. That is a possibility in this game. That's why we have the dotted lines between these alliances, but a hard line between, say, Russia and Austria and the U.S. and the Ottomans. That, you know, you have one on, and of course, once you have the Soviets, that's a totally different ball game. But that's why the dotted lines are there. But I'm not going to roll diplomacy. I'm spending. Well, let me do my technology. I have 4 technology rolls. I've color coded them again, just so everybody, my integrity is unquestionable. Wartime economy, improve factories, improve construction, and improve logistics. I am moving along 3 of those already. So here are the dice associated. Unbelievable. The only one I move is the red one. So that's improved construction. I take to stage 3. It's not bad because I have lots of things I want to construct. My purchases are going to include moving this battle cruiser to stage 3, and the rest of it is Lend-Lease. I have a submarine I'm sending in Brazil, cavalry to Russia, and artillery to the Mexicans, the revolutionaries, that is, a naval infantry to Britain, and an infantry to France. Everybody can say thank you later. I'm going to take these with me because why not? And because I know there's no wartime income, I'm going ahead, even though I haven't even done the rest of the turn, I'm over here. I'm going to go ahead and collect for the U.S. to 31. So going around the map, starting here, non-combat, my Navy with the commander and the infantry and the naval infantry, or the Marine. So I have 3 Marines and an infantry, as well as I moved the 2nd transport forward, the TBD and the cruiser. My commander is marked as the effective commander for the U.S. Navy, which is here. You know what? I can move my submarine. I'm going to move it 2 spaces to Wake Island, just to get it down the road. You know what? I'll go ahead and take the pre-dreadnought and a TBD and a cruiser. So that's not a large Navy, but that's a don't mess with me Navy. Maybe go ahead and take the submarine. Don't mess with me Navy as I head west. I'm doing that just to, everything else is a fast mover. So I'm good there. Nothing else I need to do on this side, at least not yet. Here I have the United States, or I'm sorry, the revolutionaries. I'm going to go ahead and grab a die. Going to, I'm not conducting any attacks. I'm just going to roll for recruitment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 territories. Oh, look at that. That's a 6. I'm happy with that. So I'll place an infantry here in Kahula. That's 2 infantry and 2 cavalry. Lend-lease artillery. Brazil. Pretty simple. Brazil from the Amazonia. The infantry moves to Pampas. 2 infantry from Caatinga. I am going to use my transport, pick up my infantry from Trinidad, move him to Rio, and my artillery and 2 infantry from Rio will move to Pampas. That provides 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a trench line. 6 infantry and an artillery in Pampas. 1 infantry and a militia in Rio de Janeiro. My transport is going back into port, and the remainder of my Navy is going to stay out of port when leasing a submarine. So Brian, there you are. I'm kind of daring you. Come get me. My U.S. non-combat move on this side is to move my fleet 2 spaces to Jamaica. Is that where I want them? No, I'm going to move them to just here in C-Zone A41. That is a coastal submarine and 2 pre-dreads. And then I have a lend-lease of a French, or I'm sorry, what do we call that? They purchased their own units, and I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sending the transport to the British Midlands and the artillery to Normandy. And then my actual lend-lease of the infantry, French infantry, will go to Normandy. The naval infantry here for the British will go to British Midlands. And a cavalry lend-lease we'll go to Kova. I believe that covers all U.S. actions, including the collecting of income. Oh, I need to roll recruitment for Brazil. So let's roll recruitment for Brazil. Brazil has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories. And a 9 doesn't cut it. So that is the entire U.S. turn. Apologize to everyone if I'm going really slow. It's just want to make sure that I'm deliberate and that there's no mistake made. Shuffling these cards kind of off camera. I'll do one on camera just for kicks. Okay. The Chinese have 4 IPP. They're buying 1 cavalry, saving nothing. Yunnan gets an artillery piece. Now that's interesting. So Yunnan infantry or artillery will have to attack my 2 infantry. So Yunnan's artillery is at a 3 or less. My infantry are at a 4. I'm black here. So let's roll out that combat. No limit. And I get 2 hits. So that was short-lived. Next card. Nationalists. Hey, the Nationalists get an artillery. That's nice. After these last few turns, it's something we could definitely use. I'm going to put that artillery, you know what? I'm going to put him in Shantung. Shantung. Last card. The Zili, mandatory offensive. The Zili are the guys in green out of Hope, and that's wonderful because I just placed an artillery there. So he has an artillery at 4. And I have an artillery at 4, so we're going to have to roll them separately. Attack and defense, no terrain modifiers. Attacker at a 4. Attacker hits at a 1. Make sure. Defender misses at an 8. So attacker hits at a 1. I will lose 1 infantry from Shantung. The Chinese have 2 remaining infantry in defense. The attacker has a mountain infantry, which he is coming across a river. So the mountain infantry will be down 1, up 1 at a 2. And the remaining 3 infantry at a 1. Coming across the river against my 2 infantry. And he gets 1 hit. So I will lose a 2nd infantry. That kind of stifles any attack I was going to do from there. All right, here's the 2 infantry in defense. And that is 2 hits. That helps. It's an even exchange. So in the clash between Shantung and Hunan, I'm going to assume he's going to lose 2 infantry. He would want to keep his artillery and remaining infantry. And I am going to lose the remaining infantry. So that leaves 1 infantry, 1 artillery in Shantung. In Hope, you got 1 mountain, 1 artillery, and 1 infantry. Now with that said, I think I should attack. And my starter attack is, did not think this through. I have, from Hopei, I'm going to bring, from Szechuan, sorry. I have 2 artillery in the attack into Shanghai. He has 1 artillery in defense at a 4, 1 cavalry in defense at a 2. I am bringing 1 cavalry that attacks at a 3, down 1, and then back up 1 with the artillery. I have a 2nd cavalry that I'll bring through Szechuan to Shanghai, attack at a 2. And I will bring 4 infantry from Szechuan. I'm almost counting on them. And 1 infantry from Yunnan. So, there's my layout. And we're starting with the attacker at a 3. Attacker at a 3. Missed. 1 of those artillery will retreat. Defender at a 4. And sorry about that. That's an 11. So that's a miss. So the remainder attacker. 1st cavalry at a 3. That's a 7. That's a miss. 2nd cavalry at a 2. That's a 12. That's a retreat. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry. Out of 1. I have 2 retreats. And no hits. And he has a cavalry defending at a 2. And that's a miss. So, you know what? I'm going to try again. I have cavalry and artillery remaining, attacking at a 3. That's a miss. 3 infantry at a 1. All misses, no retreats. He has an artillery at a 4, will be the black die, and the pink will be the cavalry. Okay, he hits on his artillery, so I will lose an infantry and give it 1 more go. So same color dice, infantry, cavalry, artillery and a cavalry, yellow, 2 infantry to 1 are the black. I get 1 hit and a retreat. So 1 hit, I'm going to assume he's going to lose his cavalry. But first he gets to strike back. The pink is the cavalry, and he gets no hits, an 11 and 12. So he retains the territory with an artillery in Shanghai. I have 3 infantry, 2 cavalry, and 2 artillery. Now will retreat to Szechuan, and 1 infantry that will retreat to Yunnan. I have 1 infantry that will move. Is that touch? He'll move to Szechuan. That brings that to 4 infantry, 2 cavalry, 2 artillery in Szechuan. Infantry and artillery in Shantung. That is where I will place the new cavalry. And then additionally, I am going to attempt to bring Tibet to my side. Tibet. That's a miss. And lastly, I'm going to recruit on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On a 7 or less. And that is a 1. So I will add 1 infantry back to Shantung. So final disposition on Shantung. 2 infantry, cavalry, artillery. I will leave 1 here. Nanking. You already heard about Szechuan, and then my 2 infantry went back to Yunnan, which is probably a good thing. So with that, I will first do random events. Okay, random events. We'll be moving into the fall winter of 1915 West. There's going to be 2 auto alignments, but first I have to roll random events. And the first is a 5. It wasn't a very good roll, but it was, I didn't just put it down, so I'm going to leave it. Russia's bitter winter. Ships may not enter a Alpha 8, 9, 13, and 14. So that's basically up there in the Baltic. Rail movement limited to 1 in Russian home territories. Russia advances 1 stage in improved factories. So improved factories, got to remember that. And then in the east, 1. Turkestan revolt. Place an attacking Ottoman infantry in Kazakh, Turkestan, and Mangistau. Each victor, the victor gets 1 free diplomacy roll for each territory. So let's start with, that's Kazakh and Mangistau. So let's start with Russia's improved logistics. Oh, that should take him to stage 2, even though he hasn't gone, so maybe it's even stage 3. And then so they'll have to, the Turkish revolt will be here and here. That is a win for the Ottomans. This will have to be fought out. The winner, I'm just making sure I get both those right. Yeah, Mangistau and Turkestan. So Ottomans are going to get a free diplomacy here. Here, the winner will get a free diplomacy. Now, finally, the auto alignment includes Bulgaria to Austria and Niger to the British. You see that here on the calendar. The British will go up 1, and the Austrians will go up 1. Where's Austria? Here. Tied with Russia, again, even though Russia hasn't gone yet. So here, and Niger to the British Empire. Okay, thanks for hanging with me. Not as destructive, not great for the Russians. Limit their rail. Who knows, maybe they'll win the 1 battle and it'll be a split when it comes to these revolts. Good luck to you. Stay warm. See you in the fall, winter of 1915.